Here on this page right here, travel.state.gov, if you go here, you'll come to a page that looks like this. And then what you'll want to do is click on U.S. passports. And here you'll scroll down to I need to apply for a passport. And in this case, we are going to be completing the form DS11, which is the new passport application form. So go ahead and click here, fill out your form. Here you'll have two options. So one would be clicking this button right here. It goes ahead and prints out the PDF of the DS11. You can hand fill it out and take that off to the passport acceptance facility, which would be a post office at your appointment time. We would highly recommend that you use the form filler service, and I'll go ahead and complete that for you and show you the different options that are available. So the form filler, the difference is this: you complete the information online, and at the end of it, it creates the PDF with everything all filled in for you. So it ensures that everything's accurate, nothing's missed, and so forth. It's just, in our opinion, it's a much easier way to handle this. So go ahead and click this, and then it takes you to this page right here, which is the U.S. passport application page. You're accepting some information. Go ahead and submit, and then you get to this page here, and then you fill out the online and print. Here you have options of completing the DS11, which is for new passports, which is the content of this video, or renewing passports or data corrections. So the form sort of intelligently figures out what you're trying to do based on your information, and at the end creates the appropriate form for you. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get started with this application. So you'll go ahead and complete the applicant information. I'll go ahead and complete this using dummy data. So I'll just put in test and middle name, and then last name is test. Please note on this form where there's red stars that indicate required. However, as far as the applicant goes, your information here needs to match up with either your prior passport or your birth certificate. So if you go by the name John, but your passport actually says Jonathan, you want to put in the first name Jonathan here. Same thing with middle name. If on your passport it has, or your birth certificate it has Lindsay as an example, you would write Lindsay. You wouldn't write the letter L or what have you. So just make sure that this information here matches up with the supporting documentation for your application. So the next thing you have is entering in your date of birth and city of birth. Keep filling in this information here. Your social security number is important. Make sure that that's correct. And then it asks you for pertinent information down here regarding your height and so forth. So we'll go ahead and pick some stuff here to fill this out and ask you for your occupation. But at this point, this is basically most of the information regarding the applicant themselves. So then you click to go to the next step. Now you're at the point where you're entering in your address information. So by default, it asks you for where you would like to have the passport mailed to. So I'll go ahead and fill this in. And then it asks you down here if this is your permanent address or not. If it's not, if you're choosing to have this mailed to an office or some other location, you can go ahead and click no. And then at this point, it gives you a way to go ahead and complete your permanent address. For simplicity, I'm going to go ahead and just say yes and say that this is indeed our permanent address. Down here, we have the method of communication. So if there's some sort of issue with your passport application, the passport agency will reach out to you directly, either through mail, email. So we would strongly suggest that you put in your email address here as the preferred method of communication, and then go ahead and just put in your email address. And then down here, you can put in a phone number. Phone number is not required, but it certainly is a good idea to fill that in. The next page here is the travel plans. None of it has a red asterisk, so it's not required, but certainly if you have travel that's impending, probably not a bad idea to include that. So on this next page here, you're entering in emergency contact information for as you're traveling out internationally. If the passport agency needs to contact you, this would be the place to include that information. The next thing here is your most recent passport. As we're completing this as if we're a new applicant, we would go ahead and click none here, that I don't have a recent passport. If you go ahead and click one of these others, they'll take you through the process of applying to renew the passport that you have and see if you're eligible. But for the purposes of this video, we'll click none. So at this point, the next step is you're including information regarding your parental information. So we can go ahead and input information regarding, say, for instance, your father, and male, U.S. citizen. Put in information regarding a mother, and female, U.S. citizen. You have the option to put in a date of birth and place of birth. Again, it's not required. If the applicant's parental information is not known, you can click this here that says unknown. The next step here is spouse. Have you ever been married? If you have, it asks you for the information regarding the person being married. The next page here is looking for aliases. So if you have any aliases, it's a good idea to go ahead and include those here. Then the next step here, which is the next to last step, is to review the information that you have. We would highly recommend that you go ahead and complete everything on here and double check everything, even triple check it, because obviously if the information is provided incorrectly on your application, then that'll cause delays with your application. So double check all this information here. Make sure, obviously, this information is relating to the applicant is correct. Make sure the mailing address is correct. Make sure the contact information is correct, etc. So once you've confirmed that that's all good, the next page is talking about the fees themselves. So this page isn't doing anything other than just calculating and giving you a heads up on the fees. So a passport book costs $110. You have an option here to get an additional pages in the book. So the normal book is 28 pages. You can click here at a no cost option to get a thicker book if you'd like. You also have an option here to get a passport card for an additional $30. Passport goods are not good for air travel, but they are good for land and sea travel to Mexico, Canada, and the Caribbean. So that's what the passport card is for. If you choose that, then you'll get both. And then regarding the processing speeds here, routine service is at no cost. Expedited processing is an additional $60. They gets it to you in a couple more weeks. There's also expedited shipping methods available. So if you choose standard, the passport book typically comes priority mail. If you choose the 1 to 2 day delivery, it comes priority mail express. And if you're choosing this, then it simply just changes the fees down here. So at the bottom here, it basically tells you how to prepare for what you're going to be needing to pay. And so I'll link to a video that we have that goes into a lot more specifics on the cost of a passport if you'd like to look into this further. So at this point, the next thing is to simply print the DS-11 itself. So it's going to guide you through, here's what you need to do. Basically, you print out the form here. Do not sign it. You'll need to take it to, as it mentions here, take it to an acceptance facility, which would be making an appointment at a post office. And then go down here and click this box to say you acknowledge these steps, and click the button here to go ahead and create the form. And once this is done, the DS-11 is created, and you are ready to go to your passport acceptance facility. The next step beyond this would be making the appointment at the passport acceptance facility by going to usps.com and making yourself an appointment.